What's good, everybody? Back once again, and hey, summer league going on, and coming and talking about after the boy B Miller. I don't know. We're gonna figure out a nickname for him. Like 26 today, but Nick Smith Jr. Uh, you know, uh, yeah. Um, I was like, I don't know. I was trying to think. I'm like Nickelodeon, Nick and Night. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, but no, Summer League. There've been a couple games already, and I felt like tonight was probably the first one where we actually got a little bit more cohesion of the team. Where it's like now they done played a couple games, they done felt each other out. Of course, like things are still gonna be sloppy in the mess. And things, because they're all young, so. But you just want to see, like, are they aggressive? Are they putting up shots? Are they taking shots? When are they are they calling their number? Things like that. And for for most of the games, I've been impressed with a couple of players. Like this year we had I already said the other two. Then you had Nnaji and Amari, and there's some mixed results. I was like Miller's number had to been like crazy great, but you see it there. I think he's somebody that I feel like once he's on the actual team where he doesn't have to play with a whole bunch of other people who pretty much on like his level or like in experience. I feel like once he's able to play with actual, I was like he'll be a lot better because everybody's like he's the guy, he's the dude. Everybody zoning in on him. But once he's on the team, where like you got LaMelo, that's all that is a star player, so he's gonna get some of the act. So he's gonna get mainly the looks of like the defenders and all that other stuff. But he's a better passer. We don't really have a point guard. I was like Rozier. He's gonna he's a scoring threat. That means that guess what? That means Miller's gonna be singled up a lot more. Bridges, once he comes back, he gets in the rhythm. Like now there'd be some actual player. Gordon Hayward able to pass and stuff like that. Once he's able to get with the real team, he's like you can see it there. Because really here, I just wanted to see that aggressiveness. Because I was like, the whole debate with Scoot and him and stuff like that was really sort of like, it's like, is he going to like be attacking? Is he just going to like take a shot? Because, that's sort of like what Scoot is like. You don't have to really worry about that part from Scoot, even though you might worry about the shooting. Miller got the shooting. So it's like, yeah, but is he going to be like, nah, I'm going to take this shot. No, I'm going to take this dude. And I was like, I feel like, and I was like, and his athleticism has sort of surprised me too. Like, I was like, of course, 6'9" dude. I was like, yeah, he could jump. But I was like, he been dunking like nearly from the dot a lot on a couple of plays. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. I was like, I'm here for this Brandon Miller. Yeah. So I was like, I was like still early. I was like, where the kind of everybody even still now trying to be like, oh, the Scoot and Miller thing. I'm like, it's still too early on that. The Nick Miller thing, not Nick Miller, Nick Smith. Sound like something from New Girl. I feel like this is sort of like felt like the game that they gave him the reins, where he didn't have to fight with Boog Knight, he didn't have to fight with Bryce. He had the ball, and I was like, he's gonna be in the combo guard type of mix. I feel like at some point when it's not LaMelo on the court, he's going to pretty much be our point guard in some form. If he's going to be the point guard as far as like LaMelo being the point guard, I don't know how well he's going to be with that. Even though to me, he's really going to be pretty much just get kind of bucket kind of point guard. I was like, I don't know if I really have anybody in mind like that, but for the most part, I was like, he probably gonna come off the bench, stuff like that, So I was like, cool, he's gonna be in a 6-man role, and I think that, and I was like, especially until he like develops or whatever. But we're gonna really have, I was like, and since they're gonna be Melo and Rozier, he's gonna pretty much be 6-man. I was like, that's gonna be fine with him. He could pretty much be like Lou Williams, just out here just getting buckets the whole time. But you could sort of see how he able to create a dribble. He could shoot for three. I was like, he get to a spot. He showed a couple of handles and moves and stuff. So I was like, he's good. I mean, he like fine, like he's fine. Bailey, I think he just got to work on his shooting touch. That's really about it. I didn't really know much about him coming into this or whatever, so I had to hear from other people, and it sounded like uh, he was like that dude sort of like in high school, and then his 1 year in UCLA didn't go as well, but how that goes, where it's like you go to college, and depending on what part of the program you go to, that sort of hinders you actually to play. But I was like, but he does seem to be active. Like I was like, it's not like it's not, he doesn't seem to just be like, oh, he's there, kind of thing. But I think he's going to probably just be he's probably going to be in the G League for a while, and at least for this year, I think unless they move off Rozier, I think that's where he's pretty much going to play, because we got a bunch of guards that's sort of all vying for a spot. But no, I was like, he's also young, so I was like, he seems like somebody that's like, I was like, it's there. You just gotta get some playing time and get some during his nails. So I was like, I don't know, that sounds like a football analogy. I was like, Kai Jones has been the interesting one for me because on some hands, I feel like everybody's like, oh, this is going to pretty much be his last year. Like we took him, and it's like he ain't really been, he ain't developed how everybody wants him to be. They took Nnaji. I was like, that dude. But Jones. But then this thing with Jones that you see, like, from his crazy athleticism, and like he had a couple of like Euro steps, kind of like you see stuff there that's like, I don't want to I don't want to give up on that. I don't want to. I was like, nah, let's keep him. Wait, hold on. What should we gonna put him in the game? Wait, who we playing against? He seemed like that kind of guy. Cause like and the thing is, like, he seemed like one of those like guys that should be really good at, like, crazy at shot blocking, and it's like he has that athleticism to do it, but sometimes he's not there. Sometimes he's not there defensively. It's like, and it's like, I don't know that because like like almost like where you got rely on your athleticism that it's like, oh, the dude beats you, but you could like catch him. That somehow that puts him actually in danger. I was hoping. I was like, I know he sort of is our center, but I was sort of hoping that they would sort of have him develop a perimeter shot, at least to where, like, cause he's so athletic that if he had a jump shot, it would take away some of like his fumblings, or like ball handling and stuff like that, and it would make it more of a like his that where his athleticism could take off, because you think he's going to shoot his first step and he could go right to the basket and he could jump over anybody. So I was hoping that he could develop through like some kind of at least a 3-point shot, whereas like on some nights you want to play big, you can have him and Mark Williams or him and Nick Richardson playing. Otherwise, he's just going to sit behind. He's going to sit behind Mark Williams, and him and Nick is going to battle out, basically, depending on who we play or whatever, where you could probably have him at the 4th spot. And just in case PJ doesn't do a long-term deal and he pretty much just signed his qualifying offer, you do sort of have a younger, cheaper person that could be at the spot. That's how my thinking goes, or whatever. Nnaji, I was like, he's going to go back over to Barcelona for 1 more year, but I was like, I think that dude is pretty much ready. He could play right now. He can, of course he need to polish up some things, I was like, but I was like, of course there's like stuff you could work better as a big man, passing out and stuff, but I was like, that's not what Summer League is really about. But he's also just seems like he's really like muscling dudes out there, like like you could tell, like, oh, he's one of these overseas dudes that's better than a lot of these college dudes that's out here playing. Like, he got already like almost an NBA body. Like, he's over here just dunking and just like you already see it in him the way you're like, all right, cool. That's actually like a solid pick. he'll be. I was like, that's why people think Kai Jones is in trouble because I'm like, when he comes over, Mark Williams spot, and I was like, Nick Richards. I was like, I forgot what we signed him back for, but spot available pretty much, and trying to think of who else. I guess so the Bryce McGowan's whole thing. Like there's times where I'm like, man, he can get hot, and then but it's too often not that this is like it's just tunnel vision and just like, dude, pass the ball. Why you going to the basket? There's 4 people around you. Give it up. Okay, you done did this 4 possessions in a row and 3 of them have been turned off. Like he seemed like one of those where it's like there's too many people at your spot that it's going to be hard to really have you really on like really getting some playing time. But I was like it. He seemed I was like, I don't know what to do necessarily with him. I didn't really see him really play with the Hornets. By the time I was like, I sort of like chopped out of like the Hornets. I was like, oh, okay, I don't know why. I was like, when William got in, I was like, who does Bryce do, or whatever. And then that brings us to Book Knight, who hasn't really looked good. Crazy because you see that you do see the talent, and then it just confuses you of like, what's not working here? What's not happening here? I was like, there was a couple times where I was like, ooh, I was like, oh, he's trying to earn himself a spot on the team, and then it's like, oh, he missed that one badly. Man, he hit the bat board like crazy. What is he doing? Is him and Bryce trying to compete on who could just mess up possession after possession? I was like, are you just chucking up shots just to prove something? I was like, I mean, granted, he sort of is having to prove something compared to like Nick and Bailey and Miller. Those guys just got drafted, so they're fine. He's sort of the one that's on the outside bubble because, like everybody was like, oh, Nick Smith, that's what's going to take Book Knight. And I was like, nah, I think it's Bailey's that's going to take Book Knight because I think Miller is going to eventually probably take Bridges' spot. Nick Smith is going to be the backup / extra guard for LaMelo and all the other stuff, especially once like Rozier bound. But I think Bailey is who they're wanting. I was like, if he can develop right, he's really going to take Rozier's spot, and that way you got backup 2, 3. I was like, so you got the plans in action just in case like Bridges doesn't sign or doesn't take the deal that we're going to probably like. If we either going to let him go, or we're going to give him a low offer. He's not going to want that. PJ, like they got plans that actually, where they drafted to actually come up to where people leave. It's like, all right, cool. We already got the replacements and stuff. And I feel like you drafting 2 guard and pretty much telling Book Knight like, yo, you, this it. This your year to show something. And that's it. You're not, cause they be done with the contract at that point. But I was like, they're losing, but it's like, but that's not ever what Summer League's about. A lot of times with Summer League, you just want to see how people play in certain spots, how they play, and how they sort of play with others. Especially when, even though you might be the dude, all these other people are also hungry to show like, I deserve a spot. I need to be on the team. I can't go back. I can't, So it's sort of like, it's like, all right, cool. Let's see how you act when roles aren't really established. Like once you're on an actual NBA team, you slot it into stuff or whatever like that, and you sort of get as you could come. But when Summer League, it's just like, yo, everybody's sort of out here for themselves. There ain't really no team concept fully out here, depending on what team you is. But yeah, other than that, nah, it might be another video for another day. Anyway, that's my recap so far of the Summer League. Yeah, been fun so far, pretty much just seeing the play. Anyway, like anything I had to say here, I appreciate it. Thanks. If not, hey, maybe next time. But until then, peace. I'm out.